Have you ever wondered why so many women are diagnosed with ADHD later in life, or why it looks so different for women than it does for men? If you've ever felt misunderstood, overlooked, or like you're constantly masking your struggles, you're not alone. We're about to dive into how ADHD shows up differently in women and breaking down the biggest misconceptions that can delay diagnosis and support. Let's clear up the confusion together. Hi, I'm Jen Barnes. I hold masters in social work, have worked in the field of mental health for 25 years, and now I'm an ADHD success coach. I help ADHD women embrace strategies that actually work for their unique ADHD brains. Today, we're tackling the myths and truths about ADHD in women because understanding these differences can be the key to getting the support you need. ADHD in women is often underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed. Why? This is because the classic signs we're taught to look for, things like hyperactivity and impulsivity, don't always show up the same way in women. Many women experience inattentiveness, forgetfulness, losing track of time, struggling to stay organized, internalized hyperactivity like racing thoughts or anxiety rather than the physical restlessness, although I've got the physical restlessness, so there's that. Women also experience emotional intensity, big feelings, rejection sensitivity, and emotional overwhelm. And because these symptoms are less visible, women often go undiagnosed until adulthood, especially if they learn to mask or overcompensate for their challenges, which is super common with women given the pressures placed on us to keep up in a society not designed for women. Let's break down some of the biggest myths for women and ADHD. Myth number one: ADHD is just a childhood disorder that impacts boys only. The truth is, ADHD is lifelong and girls can have it too. Many women aren't diagnosed until their 30s or 40s, or even later, because ADHD presents differently in women than how people have learned to spot it, meaning what it looks like in boys. Not to mention that later in life, when we go through perimenopause, because the drop in estrogen impacts our dopamine, a lot of us will become more symptomatic as we enter perimenopause. Myth number two: ADHD is about hyperactivity. Truth. In women, it often shows up as inattentiveness, emotional dysregulation, or perfectionism. This is one of the biggest reasons ADHD gets missed in girls. Myth number three: you're just anxious or depressed. The truth is, many women are first misdiagnosed with anxiety or depression, which this was me, because the emotional overwhelm of ADHD is misunderstood. Plus, all of that masking is anxiety provoking and tiring. Not to mention the negative impact on self worth when we ADHDers were criticized and corrected for our ADHD traits not matching the expectations of society. Myth number four: you just need to try harder. The truth is that ADHD is about how the brain processes information. It's not about laziness or effort. Most of the time, we actually want to do the thing. Until we learn how to work with our brain the ADHD way, it can be harder to just do the thing. Understanding these misconceptions can be a game changer for getting the right kind of support. And it's important that the providers you seek out for that support understand what ADHD looks like in women. Many women feel relief after an ADHD diagnosis, but also grieve the years spent feeling like they were not enough, the years spent masking, people pleasing, and using perfectionism to cope. Masking, people pleasing, and perfectionism are common ways women try to cope, but they also add to burnout and shame. Recognizing that these struggles have a name can be empowering. It allows you to approach your challenges with more compassion and less self criticism. So, what helps? Number one is self compassion. Understand that you're not broken. Your brain just works differently than the way that society is set up and the expectations that people in society have. Use ADHD friendly routines. Create flexible systems that allow for flow and focus without feeling restrictive. And know that because our brains like novelty, you need to change it up every so often. And there's no shame in that. It's not wrong to have several planners in a year that you shift to because you got bored with your old planner and stopped using it. Regulate your nervous system. Practices like slow, full breaths, grounding, mindful movement, all of that can help with emotional overwhelm as well as with focus and motivation. And get community support so that you remember that you're not alone. Finding ADHD groups or communities can make a huge difference. ADHD in women is real, valid, and often grossly misunderstood. The more we talk about it, the more we can break down stigma and build strategies that work and more acceptance in society at large. If this video helped, give it a like, comment on what resonated, and subscribe for more ADHD support and strategies. And let me know in the comments, what is one ADHD struggle that you're working through right now? Also, check out my 28-day nervous system regulation challenge, perfect for building emotional resilience. The link is in the description. I'll see you next time. Take care.